I don't think we're going to have a choice.
Universal basic income.
Universal basic income. I think it's going to be necessary.
So it means that unemployed people will be paid across the globe
Yeah.
because there is no job. Machine, robot is taking over.
That's simply and I want to be clear that these are not things that I wish would happen. These are simply things that I think probably will happen.
All right, Shalom. This is the brother Nahalia from the GMS Orlando camp. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah. And a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Yahweh is the name of the one they ignorantly call God. Yahweh Shai is the name of the one they ignorantly call Jesus. Bahashem is in the name. Rakah is spirit. Kodash is holy. Akyam is brothers. Akwath is sisters. And Shalom means peace. All right, this is Revelation chapter 13. And I will jump down to verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, and I want to go into a lesson through the Spirit, all right, on the clip you just saw, and an article that I have concerning universal basic income. All right, now the argument or the context of the conversation Elon Musk was having with the gentleman was that eventually artificial intelligence, robotic technology, what have you, will replace most of the jobs, the service industry jobs and other jobs that aren't specialized, high-paying, skilled jobs. So the service industry, cooks, truckers, all right, waiters, these type of jobs are going to eventually be replaced with artificial technology. Now, the argument Elon Musk is making is that because a lot of people, most people, will be put out of work because of this replacement, that a universal basic income should be implemented to offset the fact that most people will no longer have anything valuable to bring to the work industry. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up through the Spirit is because we understand that eventually a mark will be implemented according to prophecy. And that mark says that no man will buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now you can clearly see, if you have understanding, that all roads are leading to a digital currency. And when you mix that understanding with the push for universal basic income, it can easily be seen how this transition meets prophecy. All right. Now I want to deal with one article in particular. All right. And it says how Jack Dorsey and Good Dollar both envision a universal basic income based on cryptocurrency. Now, when you think about cryptocurrency, it first came out as a means of sovereignty, all right, or how should I say this? A way around the banking system, all right, and a way to control your finances, so on and so forth. There's been arguments about sovereignty, financial sovereignty from the major financial institutions. Now, brothers have been saying this who are a lot more competent concerning the crypto markets and the crypto industry, that eventually the government would get involved and they would regulate. Now, we can already see that happening with the implementation of CBDCs. If you don't know what that is, you should look it up. All right. These are, matter of fact, let's do that. So let's get, for context, let's go into CBDCs. All right, so CBDCs are central bank digital currencies. All right, so now you have the central banks beginning to get involved in the crypto space. Now, if you notice, for those who have understanding, there's been a consolidation of power, all right, overall. And a lot of the shutdown caused a lot of small businesses to go out of business, so on and so forth. Now, eventually, everything is being consolidated down and a new system is going to be implemented if you can receive it, according to prophecy. Now, the idea of universal basic income is an incentive, all right? It's a reward for those who will eventually have to choose between taking the mark or living by faith, all right? So let me go to this article, all right? And it says how Jack Dorsey and Good Dollar both envision a universal basic income based on cryptocurrency. Now, for those who don't know who Jack Dorsey is, Jack Dorsey ran Twitter. I believe he's still running Twitter. All right. Let's go here. It says Jack Dorsey is an American internet entrepreneur, programmer, and philanthropist who is the co-founder and former CEO of Twitter. All right. So he is a co-founder of Twitter. And now he is getting involved in this push for a universal basic income, because a lot of the jobs will be gone to artificial intelligence as it becomes more and more mainstream. All right, not today, but this past month or so, Elon Musk has decided to start taking pre-orders for the Tesla semi-truck. Now, once this becomes a viable option, the trucking industry will change dramatically, and a lot of people who make their income in trucking will be forced out of the industry. This is just one of many examples. Now, to offset the fact that you're going to have a lot of people out of work soon, they're attempting to implement a universal basic income system, but it's going to be based on cryptocurrency. Now, you can see where this is going clearly, all right? Between the carbon footprint tracker, all right, the desire to have biology mixed with technology, you can easily see where all of this is going, all right? Now, this article is from February 17th, 2022, all right? And it says this. I'm going to jump down. It says, the concept of a universal basic income, UBI, remains more relevant today than ever before. A universal basic income would do good to millions of people, yet building the necessary infrastructure to roll it out remains tough to come by. And this is why eventually it's going to transition into people having to receive the mark, all right, the charagma, all right, the RFID charagma being implanted into your body as a means of receiving currency, buying or selling. All right, it says Jack Dorsey aims to push the pace on this narrative, and the DeFi industry may offer a helping hand. All right, and this is why the scriptures say, as soon as they say peace and safety, sudden destruction. All right, because under the guise of freedom, under this guise of, if you do this, it'll be better for you, it'll be more convenient. When you think about the argument for cryptocurrency, when it first started off, it was about sovereignty. It was about being free from the financial institutions. And now what you're finding is it's a full circle. All of that technology, all of those innovations are now going to be regulated and eventually pushed on a major scale through government. I wouldn't even say government, through the major financial institutions. All right, the central banks having the ability to push a digital currency, all right, they're going to need a vehicle for it. And eventually, the cell phone and using your cell phone for cryptocurrency is going to become obsolete. All right, this is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Yes, because all of those who take the mark will be destroyed. All right? But you can already see that they're pushing this narrative on the guise of convenience, of efficiency. And when you mix universal basic income, which is basically a free check, just for living, just for existing, when you combine that, this is going to give you the hour of temptation. All right? Now, continuing, it says, the idea to create a universal basic income, or UBI, is rather intriguing. It would give all citizens of a population recurring, legally stipulated, and equal financial grants paid for by the government. Whether implemented nationally, regionally, or locally, the end goal remains the same. A UBI would help people of low income achieve basic needs when they would otherwise be unable to do so. Historically, there have been various attempts at creating a universal basic income. From the Roman Empire to early 20th century efforts, there is no shortage of ideas and proposals to make this a reality. Now that reminds me of Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right, when you jump down to verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast, you know what, let's start up. Let's start at 14. And deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And that goes into the Roman Empire. All right? And it's no coincidence that the same idea of creating a basic, universal basic income was attempted by the Roman Empire. All right? From the Roman Empire until now. And now with technology, it gives them the vehicle to have this come to pass, according to prophecy. All right? Now, it says this, unfortunately, it has never come to fruition on a large and long-term scale. Modern technologies and the support from business people like Elon Musk, Andrew Yang, and Jack Dorsey might help tip the scales. It says Jack Dorsey contributes over $55 million. Speaking of Jack Dorsey, the Twitter co-founder is keen on exploring UBI opportunities. More specifically, his idea is to create a universal basic income backed by Bitcoin. Using the world's leading cryptocurrency would make sense due to its transparent nature, code, and policy. Moreover, Dorsey is convinced fiat currency remains inefficient, whereas Bitcoin can facilitate more use cases. So on all angles, you see this push that the current system we have economically is becoming more and more obsolete as far as the fiat currencies. All right, when you deal with Davos, there was the main subject of that convention revolved around consolidation, revolved around digital merger of technology with bodies for tracking, whether it's the global footprint, all right, the incentive to have major financial institutions safeguard or determine which companies will receive funding based on their participation in the social agenda for climate change. Now, the reason that is important is because now you have the financial institutions forcing companies to bend to certain social agendas. Whether it's climate control, that's how it starts off, but eventually it'll transition. All of these things mean something, and it's all the details that lead up to the MOTB. Now, Jack Dorsey is, again, a co-founder of one of the largest platforms on social media. All right, and his resources are being dedicated, a portion of them, to creating a system for universal basic income through a digital medium, which is Bitcoin. Now, eventually, they're going to have to come up with an infrastructure, because they mentioned that earlier in this article, that they need a infrastructure. They need a foundation on how we can get the universal basic income to all of these people. The argument may be everyone doesn't have a cell phone. Everyone doesn't have internet. So how do you allow all of these people to participate in this type of system? And this is where the mark is eventually going to come into play. All right. Continuing. It says this. I'll just jump down to the point. All right. It says the good dollar concept. DeFi protocol, Good Dollar, is focused on delivering a sustainable crypto UBI claimable by anyone. The project has almost 300,000 members worldwide, recently underwent a crucial protocol upgrade. The universal basic income through the Good Dollar protocol provides a UBI in G monies or G tokens governed by the Good DAO. Additionally, the protocol leverages liquidity, mining rewards, and yield farming to ensure capital keeps flowing toward Good Dollar to create a sustainable project. So this is his attempt to create a system for universal basic income. It's only a matter of time before these major institutions who are creating the CBDCs decide to partake in this. And you can foresee that this will be one of those incentives. This will be a reward for those who take the mark. If you take it, all right, you'll have access to your universal basic income. If you don't, you're on your own. All right. It says, conclusion, although the efforts by Jack Dorsey focus on Bitcoin and more traditional options, the Good Dollar initiative has potential. There are multiple ways to tackle the concept of a UBI and how to distribute it to larger communities best. Moreover, the role of cryptocurrencies in universal basic income discussions will only become more outspoken. Fiat currencies are necessary, but one can always convert from crypto to fiat when needed. So there's a push. All right, there's an obvious push to make this universal basic income through digital currencies a thing. And when you add the fact that a lot of these jobs are not going to be here as AI grows and becomes more popular and more competent, a lot of these jobs, Denny's, Waffle House, all right, trucking, Amazon, a lot of these jobs are going to be taken away. And you're going to have a lot of mad, angry people who no longer have a way to feed their families. And this is where Esau is going to implement this system. All right, it reminds me of the director of Trading Places, who is now deceased, who spoke of a conversation he had with the Rothschilds about an agenda to put chips in people. Now you have to remember, all major media institutions are owned by a lot of these billionaires through these investment companies. And it's not hard to see how quickly things can transition, all right, from this fiat currency system that we have now to an incentive and a mandate that everybody go ahead and fold to a digital system. All right, when you deal with inflation, when you deal with the pandemic and the different nations and how they had all different policies and it was all confusion, they're going to use these things as a reason why everything needs to consolidate, why all power needs to go to a global entity to decide policies for the world. And eventually, one of the biggest and most important parts of that puzzle is being able to implement the charagma, to track these people and to incentivize it by telling them you'll get a stipend. They did it with the stimulus package, the stimulus checks, the loans, and eventually, all right, they're going to use that as a means to have people get involved with the mark. All right? So I'll leave this article in the description, and I'll end it with this. Again, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.